Good afternoon, guys. Just had to stop by the house here real quick to get this video done. I have to get this knife sent out to Sweden. So what we're going to talk about today is the ZT0560 Hinderer design. So this is one of ZT's Hinderers that they licensed and provided, produced. And it's a good knife. It is an awesome knife. I have carried it a couple times. There's not too much that I don't like about this knife. It's actually really nice. I actually have it sharpened. So this is done titanium G10 scale over a liner, and then it is a full titanium scale on this side, then an Elmax steel. I know a lot of people have problems with Elmax. I love Elmax. It gets stupid sharp, takes a mirror polished edge, looks gorgeous even at the mirror polish. I took this one to 8,000 grit and then put it on the stones, or on the strops, and it is wicked stupid sharp. So there's only a couple things about this knife that are not things that I would really like. And I know I say a lot. I had a subscriber say that. There's a couple things about this knife that when I took it apart and cleaned it up, I noticed. So I took it apart, and when I got it apart, I had realized that now it had a significant amount of blade play that wasn't there before. So I took it back apart, and I got to looking. The bearings in this have to go back in the same way. So I played with it back and forth until I get the bearings the right way. Now that somebody has said something, I'm critical of it. When I took a knife apart, I had to go back and make sure that I put the bearings back in the same way. I have another knife that's like that. It is my Microtech DOC. If you don't put the bearings in the same way, it will have a little bit of centering issues, and it will also have blade play. So I took it apart a few times, finally got the bearings the way they were supposed to go, and then sharpened it and carried it a few times. It's not an unattractive knife. It's just not, it's almost too big. And that's funny for me to say. It's almost too big. It's almost too big and uncomfortable to carry. The jimping on this side, the G10 side, and with the liner, is really aggressive compared to this side. So it's not that either one bothers me, it's just it feels odd. I would have preferred if it was the same. Jimping on the blade is pretty much just there for looks, but the jimping here actually gives you some actual purchase. It is a deep carry pocket clip. That's another thing. I don't really like the deep carry pocket clips so much. The action on it is not too bad, but it will, you gotta push it pretty hard to get it out all the time. But a lot of that has to do with, that's a big heavy blade. That's a big chunk of Elmax that's sitting there. It does ride on bearings. I have oiled it a couple times. It didn't really affect how well it performs in the flipping after I took it apart, cleaned it up, and oiled it. It's not heavy. It's not heavy. It's not a heavy knife. But like a lot of the Hinderers, it's just not a design I really like. It's not. They're not bad knives. It's just they're not ones I like. This curved flipper tab that turns into a finger guard, when I was using it, it bites into my finger. When I would want to cut, when I get my hand up in there, it bites right into that knuckle right there because it curves around. I would have preferred it have it be flat. All in all, though, it's a really decent knife. Now, I am going to get this cleaned up again and taken up, and Mr. Anderson, you will be getting your knife as soon as possible. The beg letter is already done. The only thing that was pending on this was a quick sharpening and a video. So both of these are going to Sweden. Mr. Anderson, Charles has also purchased one of my neck knives. It's done and it's in there, and so he has a couple of knives at Fair and Forge that I sharpened, that are going to him in Sweden. So we're just going to put them all in one box. Saves us a little bit of pain. He's already paid for the shipping. I mean, why not get them all in one box? So this one is ready to go, and I just got Mr. James Yates's address so I can send him his giveaway knife. So with that being said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the camera around. We're gonna take a good look at it and see what it looks like better up close and personal. So you guys hang on just a second. Don't mind the mess here. So, like I said, 0560 Hinderer design in Elmax. And like I said, Elmax takes a gorgeous, hey look, there's me, gorgeous mirror edge. I'm gonna let you guys know something. There are times where knives leave my house, they have little spots here and here. I personally don't think that the sharpening should be an aesthetic thing. I'm not going to waste a bunch of metal on a knife just to clean up that little area right here. If I've already apexed the edge, which it is, it's mirror sharp, it's super sharp all the way back to there. But there's going to be areas where like that's factory edge that I'm not going to take it off just aesthetically. As long as that angle is right for the length of the blade, I'm not taking off any extra material because I'm taking away life of the blade. Now, I do have something to say now that we're talking about the edge. This is the only ZT so far that I've had that came in that was significantly misground. So I am going to post up some pictures on my Instagram. It's going to be a video showing what the edge looked like before. And then when I started sharpening it, I realized that there was some significant errors in the grind, especially on, so it would be this side here. Right here, the stone wasn't touching. This side was fine, it apexed, and then I had a spot from about here to about here where I was touching the spine. Here was touching all the way to the tip, was getting apexed, except for one little spot about a ½ inch wide right in this area, about the width of my thumb. And it took some work to get it back down to, you know, I got a little bit of stropping compound still on it. See, I just want to do some finished touch-up on it before I send it. But, I mean, it's an attractive knife. Now, I will say that this titanium scale with the milling on it is very attractive. And, you know, ZT is another one of those companies that does stuff right. It allows you options for carry. Left-handed, right-handed, tip up, tip down. Both sides. I mean, you can go all the way with it on any side. The pivot, you got to really torque down on that to get it all the way tight. But it does not affect because it's on bearings, it doesn't affect the action. Now this is one that does not have a lock bar insert, so it is titanium on steel. There isn't any issues that I have seen on it so far of lock stick, and you can see where it looks like there was some carbonizing done right there where it marries up. So I mean, that is attractive. I wish that this was more of a flat pocket clip like what you see on, not necessarily on the beg letter itself, but that style. I wish this was a little lower profile too, but more like the bent spring clips that you see on some of the other knives that are slim but still provides you a lot of traction. This is not a bad pocket clip design. It's not. It doesn't really bother me. I do like this knife. I debated whether I should keep it or sell it. This one, like I said, VG10. So, I mean, you can see that's a really big knife because this is not a small EDC, but it's just so big. It's just almost too much. It's more than what I would really want to carry. So, there you go, guys. ZT Hinderer 0560. The Elmax thing, I really wish that more people would start making knives in Elmax again. I love Elmax. It holds an edge fairly well. If it's done really well, it holds an edge for almost forever. And it polishes up, it sharpens up gorgeous, and it's I mean, that is like, I wouldn't want to push very hard on that. So, all right, guys, hang on just a second. We'll get you turned back around. Yep, so that's it, guys, on this one. I gotta be a quick video. I have got to get going. I have got to be at that business in about 30 minutes. So I've got to go grab paperwork, my laptop, and some stuff like that. There are 3 knives left, possibly only 2. I had a third person say that they're thinking about purchasing it, the little neck knives. And I did something that I've been trying to do for a long time. My sharpening service is going to be a little bit more mainstream here before too long. I'll get into that at a later date. But I filled out a SKU form as a vendor so that they're going to be knives shipped to me for sharpening. And I talked to Will Booz. He's thinking about maybe offering my sharpening service as part of his warranty, or adding it as an option on his site as well. So that would be Elliot and Chris for Fair & Forge, Will Booz. There's a couple other people that I've talked to, and they haven't, they're still kind of on the fence about it. So that would be good. That would be good. I would enjoy that. So, all right, guys, that's it. I have got to get all my stuff put together and get out of here. I've got to check and make sure I didn't spill anything on my slacks when I was doing some touch up on some of these stones. But other than that, above my left shoulder is the subscribe tab. Above my right shoulder is going to be the video that maybe YouTube thinks you would like based on your preferences. And that's it. I gotta go, and I will see you guys next time.